So before we even start this review, we have to ask ourselves one very important question. Does it have an overhead taco holder? Yes it does. Alright guys, that's it. Review's over. Go buy you one of these. Hey, welcome back guys. We are back with another review video. Big shout out to my buddy for letting me borrow his vehicle for today's review. So, we are driving a 2008 Lexus GX470. And is it just me, or does that name sound like a computer processing chip or a graphics card? Okay, so obviously, first things first, we're going to talk about looks. No, I don't mean mine, because unlike me, this vehicle actually looks good. So the Lexus has what I consider to be a pretty decent rugged look. It has something that I consider to be kind of like a manly off-road style look to it. It's something that honestly looks at home on a good set of meaty 35s. Now, granted, it is a bit of a luxury machine, so it's not something that I would ideally choose to go throw in the mud. This vehicle has a lot of electronics, a lot of special features, and if I'm going to go out to just literally abuse something in the hills, I would probably pick something like my old tank that I have. It's completely analog and it's stick shift. It's kind of hard to go wrong with that. But if you like to cruise around in style and in comfort and still have the ability to occasionally go off-road, this is not a bad choice. Now let's talk about the engine. So, Lexus decided to put a modest 4.7 liter V8. Woo! A V8! You better be careful, Lexus. Your America's showing. Now, it is a 32 valve dual overhead cam engine. It doesn't produce a lot of horsepower, only around 263 horsepower. And with a curb weight of just under 5,000 pounds, that horsepower comes just a little bit shy. But at least it has torque. But given that it has variable valve timing, yeah, say that 5 times quick, it does, however, produce a little over 320 foot-pounds of torque, so it kind of makes up for it. Pair that torque with the 5-speed automatic, and it does have a little over 6,000 pounds of towing capacity, which isn't bad. That's about what you'll typically see in the weight of a car trailer with a car on the back. So you could take your race car or your side-by-side, whatever kind of extra toy it is that you're hauling around. And just like an American V8, it kind of continues that lineage there with some questionable fuel mileage. So speaking of our engine, all the torque that you get, however, does come with a little bit of a trade-off. You're looking at a 23-gallon tank, and you're only going to get between 14 to 18 mile per gallon. So similar to the women on Instagram, she's a little thirsty. Poor gas mileage, V8, and it's fat. This thing might be more American than we thought. And if you're running around on empty and have to top the old girl off, you're probably looking at around $70 to $80 to do so, given today's gas prices. But don't worry, it does redeem itself because it still has plenty of favorable attributes. Not what I would necessarily call economical, but then again, this vehicle does not fit in the economical class either. With leather seats and more gadgets than the average everyday iPhone, I can just tell you right now, this vehicle already sits very comfortably in the luxury class. All right, what everyone is wanting to know, performance stats. How does this thing do 0 to 60 and in the quarter mile? I'm just kidding, it's an SUV. If you honestly came to this review to find out what this vehicle does in a quarter mile or a 0 to 60, I can't help you. That's going to take someone who typically charges around $50 to $60 an hour and multiple sessions. And I bet you're wondering exactly how this thing handles on-road and off-road. So let's talk about ride quality. Butter smooth. It absolutely soaks the bumps up, no problem. So this vehicle also offers a high range and a low range transfer case. Something else that's kind of neat, it also has a downhill assist button. And of course it gets even better because you can choose between a sport mode or even a comfort mode setting on your suspension as well as ride height. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is cargo space. Is this the kind of vehicle that you could use as an actual utility vehicle? Or maybe even a good vacation rig? Now this does have the option for third row seating. This particular vehicle right now does not have that. Typically you're going to see around 49 cubic feet of storage capacity, but if you fold all of the seats down, you've got 77. Now all of a sudden you have all the room for activities. Don't be dirty-minded, you knew exactly what I meant. I meant using it as a utility vehicle like it's supposed to be. You know, hauling lumber and stuff. This vehicle also has a lot of power options. For instance, this 115 volt AC power outlet. You know, for when you go camping and you need like a radio or something. Of course, all the rear seats have cup holders. Now, something else that this vehicle has that I really like is the fact that all the back seats have a car seat anchor. So that way you can properly secure your child's car seat. Speaking of children, not only can you fit all your kids back here, you can fit adults. With a headspace of 40 inches and a legroom of 36, it's not bad. And if you have wide hips, don't worry because it also offers 54 inches of hip room. Another nice feature is even the rear seats recline. And of course, when you don't have a third person sitting in the middle here, this armrest can come down and you've got cup holders. So another feature that I love about this vehicle is that you have two different saved settings that you can have for your seat and the steering wheel. I'll be honest, I get really excited when it does that. I think that's really cool. I bet you kids don't even know about no tape player, do you? Nah, y'all's too young for that. Y'all wouldn't understand. God, I'm getting old. So let's talk about some more of the features that this vehicle has, shall we? This vehicle comes with a laundry list of special features. We're talking leather, 10-way power driver seat, height adjustable seats, 6-way power passenger seat, lumbar support, multi-level heated seats. All of the seats are leather, they're comfortable, they recline. It comes standard with dual front side mounted airbags, front and rear head airbags, stability control, traction control. Of course, we don't really care about traction control. No one uses traction control. We don't like that. Electronic tire pressure monitoring, remote anti-theft alarm system with engine immobilizer. So if anybody steals this bad boy, you can just shut it off and make them walk home. Or what I like to call a slight head start while I track you down. It also comes with speed-sensitive volume control. That way, your wife doesn't even need to look at the speedometer to know when you're speeding. Backseat drivers. Remote window operation, power glass moonroof, and yes, there is a difference between a moonroof and a sunroof. Heated mirrors, reverse tilt dual mirrors that provide a curb view when you're backing your vehicle up. Backup camera. It also comes with something called a diversity antenna. I'm not really sure what that is, but 10 years ago I'd have made a joke about that, but not today. People's too touchy. So this car also comes with a plethora of different types of standard option things like dual climate control and even a first aid kit. You know, for when you're camping, you get cut. For the wheels and tires, you're going to get a standard alloy wheel, 17 by 7.5. Usually come in all terrains, 265, 65R. This vehicle also comes standard with a full-size matching spare. And like I said, you can have pretty decent off-road confidence considering that the drivetrain comes standard with a mechanical center differential. The diff is also locking and comes with a descent downhill control and a transmission hill holder. And honestly, that should give you a little bit of peace of mind because typically when you put an automatic transmission in park, the way that normally works is it just locks first and reverse together with a little pin. Now, when you're sitting on a steep incline, that's a lot of force on that pin. So it makes you not so worried about throwing it in park and jumping out while you're on a slope or a steep incline. Now, I'm not exactly sure how well it would stack up against something like a Range Rover or a Land Rover or like a G-Wagon, but you're also talking about a vehicle that is leagues away from those vehicles in price range. Yeah, you see that? You see that little number right there? That's not bad. That's about the average price you can see to pay for one of these. So given that price tag and giving all the options that you can get, this vehicle's really not a bad choice. So what are my final thoughts on the 2008 Lexus GX470? Well, as for titles, I would definitely put this well suited in the luxury category. If you are looking for a fuel-friendly, economical, cheap vehicle to drive every single day back and forth to work, I would not look this way. However, if you have pets or kids and you want a comfortable but affordable vehicle that you can take camping, vacations, or just even trips to the grocery store, this is a really good vehicle. So we're going to talk about pros and cons. What are the cons of this Lexus? All right, so obviously the very first con that I have is fuel mileage. Man, this thing is thirsty. She be thirsty. The other con is a pretty typical problem with these. The way that the exhaust manifold and the converter are made, they're kind of made as like one piece, and they are known to separate over time, and then you get like a ticking noise. It's an exhaust leak. The owner said a lot of people ask him if it has a lifter chatter, but no, it's just the exhaust leak. But of course, I mean, that is easily remedied with an aftermarket header and cat. So, other cons, I really don't have any. This is a really nice vehicle. It rides smooth. The suspension is adjustable. You have a sport mode. You have a comfort mode. I'm currently enjoying the comfort mode. It is really nice. The cabin has a pretty good sound deadening from outside. Now, the all-terrain tires do give a little bit of road noise, so the tires do talk to you while you're driving down the highway. But if you're looking at a vehicle that is capable off-road, you can't have regular plain Jane highway tread, because even a vehicle like my tank that I own, if you put plain tread highway tires on it, it's going to get stuck off-road. Tires are the only thing on a vehicle that are in contact with the ground. So in my opinion, tires are the most important part. But I think that is an okay trade-off, because I would rather have a little bit of road noise from the tires, but have the added confidence that when I take it off-road, I'm not going to get stuck. Price range, like I said, it's honestly, for something that is this nice, it's very affordable. There's not too many vehicles that are in this price range that has this many features. Towing capacity, like I said, 6,500 pounds. That's not a bad towing capacity. It's something that I would feel perfectly safe with putting my race car on the trailer and hauling it to the racetrack. Looks, hey, like I said, this thing looks tough. It looks manly. It has a good presence to it. I think it looks great. Visibility, this thing has great visibility. This thing has the type of visibility that my old tank has. I mean, nice big windows, very limited blind spots. The seats are super comfortable, and given the fact that there is 10-way adjustability on the driver's seat and 6-way adjustability on the passenger seat, you're going to find the comfort zone that you like. Lumbar support, heat, it has a lot. Cargo space. It can actually be used as a real sport utility vehicle. A lot of SUVs kind of skimp out on that utility part, but this has enough cargo room to actually get the job done. You can take this thing to Lowe's and load up, I don't know, 10-foot sections of galvanized pipe. Now, like I said, a lot of people buy these and they immediately put lift kits on them, big tires, and take these things as dedicated off-road rigs. That's not my cup of tea. Preferably, I would like something like my rig, which is analog, stick shift. It's super simple, a lot less things that are potential to break down. But I'll be honest with you, if you have money, which I don't, which is probably why I like cheap analog crap, then this is a pretty good rig to build as an off-road rig. It's already fairly capable straight out of the box. Now, a lot of you younger kids probably won't like the fact that it has a tape player. I love it. I think that's a great thing. But it still has audio jack, so you can hook in your phone and listen to Spotify or whatever it is you kids listen to nowadays. And let's not forget the most important feature of this entire vehicle. We confirmed early on in the video, it in fact does have an overhead taco holder. I mean, honestly, what more could you want? So if I had the money, if I was using my own money and I was looking for an affordable luxury vehicle that I can take the kids on camping trips and feel safe that it's going to get us to our camping spot, back out of our camping spot, and we are going to have a comfortable, luxurious ride back home, yes, I would definitely buy one of these.